Hi guys, it's Sarah with Grassroots Evolution Tarot, and I'm here today to bring you a monthly message for the sign of Aries for January 2023. Keep in mind it's general, so take what you feel resonates for you, disregard the rest, go about your day, and know that no matter what messages come through today, it's still up to you, your active free will, the choices you make, the steps you take, and how you integrate this message today. So know that our power to do this lies at the tips of our fingers, the soles of our feet. No one else has this power, so use this power to do wisely, my friends. As well as for all my subscribers, I love you from the bottom of my heart. Thank you for being here. And if you're welcome, you are welcome. But if you're new to my channel, welcome. Thanks for stopping by. And if you feel like this resonates and you'd like to see more, please hit subscribe. Join the journey with me. I'd love to have you along the ride. So before I get into the cards, I'm just going to take a moment to call in spirit. I'm going to ask Archangel Michael, Archangel Metatron, my team of light, and any of your spirit guides that would be here for the highest good of the entire collective to join us. I'm going to ask them to guide, guard, bless, and protect myself, this reading, and any of you who would ask for it, as well as to use me as the clearest channel possible, delivering messages that are for the farthest reaching, but again, only for the highest good of all of us here today. So I'm just going to move you guys a little bit. There we go. It's driving me nuts a little bit with the light behind me. So what I'm going to do first is start off with a message from Life Oracle. And let's see what spiritual advice Spirit has for this month. Now, I kept wanting to say February. So for some of you, this message, what I heard is it may come into fruition more into February, or it's something that we're at the end of January and this is going into February, something that could really help you with your mindset. Again, take it how it applies to you. So Spirit, what messages would you have for the sign of Aries, please, for January 2023? What spiritual advice? Thank you. So we have welcoming happiness. It says, divine love manifesting in me, through me, and around me attracts all that I need for the greatest benefit of my soul. As I work to increase my inner light, I become the emanation of love and joy. Thus I reap the happiness and beauty of all that I have sown. And one thing I wanted to say about this as well, when I was pre-shuffling, everything changes had come out. And this is really good because I feel like we, or you, are putting things forward. You're implementing changes in your world, even if they seem small at first, that are going to bring you to a much better place. And this could be why we're saying February. What I'm hearing too is a lot of us in January have put out our resolutions, and the Lunar New Year just passed on the 21st. So this is also times for new manifestations, new goals. And what I heard is working our magic, doing it in the way that only we can do. So for some of this, us welcoming our happiness is going to be us looking at our worlds and going, okay, if we feel like something is missing, what can I do to make myself feel like a little bit better? What can I do to bring more happiness to my world? This could be things like doing stuff for you, having a bath once a day, or consulting with your cards, crystals, having a meditation. This could be making sure that you're actually getting some social time or hanging out with friends. It's not all just work and sleep, that there's play in there as well. Because if we're not making time for play, are we really balanced? No. And as well as what I heard is, it's really important to get alternative points of views. So for some of you as well, what I heard is if we're having like kind of our mental state hasn't been the best, or if we have been kind of feeling a little bit down, this is also the place to go, you know what, I have the power to help change my situation. How can I go about making these changes? I also heard you have the control in things like this, because you can't control necessarily, maybe your friends are busy, right? But you can control whether or not you're going to sit alone in the house and dwell on the things, or whether or not you're going to get out and make plans and try and do things. Okay, for some of you, what I heard, it could even be a walk, clear your mind, because these are releasing nice endorphins as well, which is going to help lighten and brighten our mood. So Spirit wants me to show you the bottom of the deck, which is, I reap what I sow. The work you put in, you're going to see. So it says, I'm aware of all that I create around me. Sooner or later, all that I do and all that I think comes back to me in some way. Be it positive or negative, I will reap the fruits of what I have sown. Therefore, I abundantly fill my life with light and love. For all the seeds of light I sow, I will harvest the greatest richness. And for some of you as well, as what I heard is 6 weeks. It takes 6 weeks to really get a new habit into habit, right, in order for us to just get up and do it. Now for some of us this could be discipline as well, so if we're thinking about an exercise program or something like that, or even getting out for that walk, there may be days where we're like, I don't know if I want to go for that walk. And this is where we have to know, you know what, if it helps my mental state, if it brings me more mental clarity and it helps me feel better, it's doing well for me, and I need to be disciplined enough to go after those dreams and after those goals. So they're giving me an example of the farmer. So we'll go with, I'm hearing dairy, okay, but this could be vegetable farmer, because they still need to water the crops, make sure that tend to the weeds. Or if it's dairy cattle, you may not want to get up at the crack of dawn every single day, but if you don't, you're not going to get milk and you're going to have some pretty uncomfortable cows. This needs to be done disciplined, because we know that there's things that maybe we don't want to do, but we have to. For some of you is what I heard, and this is not all of you, and again, if you've I'm not a doctor, okay, but what I heard is blood sugar. We need to regulate our blood sugar. So if you have or haven't been, what I'm hearing is you may want to go to the doctor if you are concerned at all about blood sugar issues, and just get them checked out, see where they are. And it's going to be really important, I heard, for your nervous system as well, though, to make sure that you are, this is my advice for myself too, but balancing our proteins and carbs, so that we're not just living off a bunch of carbohydrates and not getting the protein there, because we're not going to be leveled in our blood sugar. We may get hungry really quick. So these are things, as well as what I also heard for some of you guys, is to really follow your hunger cues. Don't ignore them. For also, they're telling me like ADHD or something like that. Sometimes we get so hyper focused on other things that we forget to eat, and then this becomes a huge problem later, because we're binging because we're hungry, or now we're bored and we're looking for places where, you know, we're going to get our dopamine fixes and things like this. So this is really where it's like making sure that we're not labeling, but this could be, you know, if you're struggling with remembering what's a protein and what's a carb, label it. This could even be making and meal prepping ahead of time and having it labeled Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, a couple days ahead. You may even want to do some in the freezer so that you've got it labeled. You know what it is. You can take it out. You can pop it in the microwave, pop it, you know, in a frying pan or whatever you need to do to reheat this, so that you are being taken care of. Okay, so that's as much as I'm going to say there, but Spirit was pretty adamant that I talk a little bit about our diet and nutrition as well. It's super important, and those are why, because blood sugar, I think, is something that many of us might not even know, you know, what it feels like when it starts to go low. I heard as well some of us may have like serious mood swings and stuff like that when we're hungry, and what is the best way to welcome happiness and to reap what we sow is to first off keep ourselves stable. And if we're getting super hella bitchy because we're freaking hungry, this is something where we need to make sure that we eat and we're taking care of our body first and foremost, and we're doing it, and again, in a balanced way, okay, that we're not just living off one thing. So let's see what we have here. I was really guided before I bring tarot, and I have the Oracle, the Wisdom of the Trees Oracle. And I wanted to look for, thank you, some help this month is what I heard, something that would be helpful. And it is the ginkgo tree. So let's see what this has to say. Ginkgo is about your memory. And it says, I offer a link to eternity. Look at my leaves, and you will see the moment of my birth in the time before man. I am the silent witness of the past. I am the living memory of planet Earth. Have you forgotten something important? Perhaps it has slipped your mind because you subconsciously want to ignore it, or because it challenges you. Think about what it might be, then take constructive action to address it. For some of us, this could be procrastination too, right? We reap what we sow. What is it in our memory? Are we remembering to do the things that we need to do? For some of us, what I also heard is this may be really important to write things down. For some of you as well, what I hear is that you might be on a healing journey. I myself am, and I'm sure a lot of you that would resonate with my channel are. What I heard is we may be having a lot of memories coming up, and this is where they serve a purpose. We need to sit with them, acknowledge the feeling, what was the memory, ask ourselves in this quiet contemplation, why was it here? And then what I heard is to let it go and release it. So what I heard is, again, let go and let God. Give it to the universe, give it to source. And, what I heard is as well is, depending on the memories, they really can evoke feelings, be it negative, be it positive. And if it is a positive feeling, that's wonderful. If it's a negative feeling, it is here to teach us something that we're not healed over, or we could also be going through something very similar to something that's happened in the past. And this is spirit going, hey, remember that situation? Remember how we felt? How can we use that and learn from it and apply it to this current situation? Okay, for some of you as well, as what I heard is you may want to do little brain teasers or things like that, to help jog your memory for some things as well. So let's get the tarot, and I have the Wildwood Tarot here today, and see what messages we have for Aries. So you guys have the King of Vessels in the reverse, which would be the King of Cups, and the Heron. Spirit, what else would you have here? Thank you. Page of Arrows. One more card, please, Spirit. And the Five of Stones. And this one is about endurance. I feel like you may have to discuss some of the memories that have been coming up with either a therapist, your partner, a friend, your journal. I think that you also, with this situation, what I heard right away at first was there's been something that has kind of closed your heart off a little bit. And coming forward, this is why, Spirit's okay. We're going to welcome happiness. We need to work on opening our heart, and this may be troublesome. It may feel scary, because if we open our heart, we are opening ourselves up for potential failure. We're opening ourselves up for potential hurt or pain. But if we keep our heart closed, we are not going to experience the bliss and happiness that is meant for us, because we're living a semi-version of our own world. Our heart is so important as our emotional center in making sure that we are physically grounded on this plane. That's what I heard. Because again, this is where our emotions come from, and this is a really important way where our body, it's talking to us. Your heart is where you're going to feel what your soul needs to know at the time, and not to ignore how you feel. So again, with this ginkgo tree and the memories, to remember you reap what you sow. Work through the stuff that's coming up. Many of you as well, and I don't know how you guys have felt, but the week leading up, so last week, I'm filming on the 23rd today of January, the last week was so heavy. There was so much heavy energy, and I felt like a lot of stuff from my own personal past was coming up for me to deal with. And to be honest, a lot of the memories that were coming up, they weren't squishy and warm feeling. Okay, but there's a reason why they came up, because there's lessons to be learned on them. And for some of us, there may be things that are lying under the surface that we're not even sure, or we don't even know, we're not aware that they're playing a part in our worlds. So it could be an old hurt that something said, no, close that heart off, we're not going to be emotionally available. It could be as well that a lot of it feels like it's because, and this could be during childhood, that we've had to endure a lot of difficult things. For some of you guys, I do feel like with this conversation too, you may have had someone around you gaslight you when you tried to discuss, hey, this is what happened, and no, it didn't, that didn't happen. And at this point, you're like, well, trying to have an open and honest conversation about what's happened in the past and how I'm feeling about it and how it's still affecting me, but this person isn't willing to comply or isn't willing to discuss that. We can't control other people's actions, and there comes to a point where, yes, especially if we feel like we are owed an apology, or if someone else is to blame for our current situation or our feelings of misgivings and hurt and the emotions that are lying underneath the surface, it's not their job to heal us, it is ours. And we can't necessarily depend on someone else being accountable for their actions and apologizing for what they've done, unfortunately. So I think this is something where you really got to ask yourself, what do I want? It could be, I do feel like this is your energy, but this is also someone in your energy who has been emotionally unavailable to you. And this could be just thoughts that you're having now and mental clarities that are coming through going, I've really went through a lot. And honestly, sit with that. What if you okay, one thing I heard is this is what's helped build your backbone. These experiences that you've went through are going to help educate you and inform you throughout your life. Now, again, what I heard is trauma. This could be coming from a trauma-informed standpoint. So this is also when these memories and these feelings come up. Is it attached to some sort of trauma? Is there a way you've been feeling as of late? And can you see if there's any links here? Because if we heal that, we're healing our present version, which is opening up space for so much more wonderful and happiness in our world. So I'm going to get a little bit more on this King of Vessels in the reverse, the Heron. Wow, okay. So the bottom of the deck is the Six of Bows, and I had it split into two. So interesting. The Six of Stones in the reverse, exploitation, not being exploited anymore. With the Six of Abundance, so the Six of Bows in the upright. Because we're welcoming happiness and we're welcoming a time of abundance. We are stepping out of a time where we felt exploited. And there's huge major changes coming through once we face this darkness, once we face this bear cave. Now what I heard is for some of you, you may be clan of the bear, like bear totem. You may have, it may also be that bear medicine is going to be very helpful for you right now, just depending. I know myself, and this is not about me, but I dreamt about bears last week on more than one occasion. And one time the bears were really nice. They were not trying to come after me. They weren't trying to hurt me. And another time there was two bears and they were not nice. They were very angry. And it's important to pay attention to what's going on in your dreams and how you're feeling, as well as what are there's similarities, or what is the running storyline? What is showing up consistently for you? And for some of you, again, I think that this is just going to be, it's your time to show your power. It's your time to say, you know what, I'm so much stronger than anything that has happened to me in the past. So you have the Eight of Stones with a skill. You have the Moon on the water here, which is so cool because it's also talking about reflection, but distortion. We have the Queen of Stones, so Pentacles here. Three of Bows with fulfillment, which is fire. It is waiting, but it's making a decision on what is it you want. And I always like to look at this. These two snakes, they're on you, my friends. They're on you. This evolutionary process that's within you. This is knowing that you are a full circuit, okay? You are also a divine conduit, and it's going to be important for you to balance out both masculine, both feminine, both light and both dark. And that's unfortunate in this spiritual journey that we have the Guardian here, which is death, that we have to experience darkness to see the light. And like my personal last week, it was so heavy, and stuff that was coming up was definitely uncomfortable. Some of it painful as well, and this is where it's important to let it go. So for some of you, you may want to have a big cry. You may want to have a saltwater bath and just set up your candles in the bath and have some crystals around and set your intention that this is a spiritual bath, that it's going to help cleanse your aura, that it's going to help cleanse your spirit, and that anything negative or draining to you, to your life force, is going to be taken down the drain with love when you pull that plug and come out feeling renewed. For some of you as well, what I heard is, because we're just coming off Lunar New Year, Scrub yourself, my friends. Get all that old, dead, dry skin out of here, because we are making way for a new skin. So these look like dragons, but they are snakes. And what does the snake do when it grows? It sheds its skin. So it is now the time to shed the skin, to say, yeah, this is scary, but these are bones. They're just bones. They can't hurt me. They're meant to intimidate me, yes, but they cannot hurt me. For some of you, what I did here is, if any of you do struggle from like PTSD or even like CPTSD, and it's something where memories or feelings are kind of coming back and they feel very real in the moment, one thing I was looking at was also like how to ground yourself in those moments. And this is where we need to stay present. What can we see? What can we smell? What can we touch? And focusing on our breath work, focusing on, counting in to 5 when we breathe in, and counting out when we breathe out. Again, I'm not a therapist, I'm not a doctor, and there's things that, you may want to seek professional help for, on depending on, how severe whatever you're going through is. But it's very similar to when we get an anxiety or a panic attack, bringing ourselves back into the here and now and bringing ourselves back in control of our body. So, we also have the live bear, which I love this, because here we've got this polar bear contrast as well with the dark, the white, and all the color and the beauty to be found in afterwards. But I also, when I say, you usually only see those northern lights, at least in my experience, when it's hella cold. When it's really, really cold, and the stars, they're showing me the dipper. The stars are the brightest as well when it's so cold you can barely stand outside. So it's going to be important for you here to take a higher perspective, because this bear's up top. You got to go through it. As well as, and this to me as well speaks of the underworld, much like this guardian, that there's some stuff here, remembering the past, remembering what we've gone through. And this, I feel like this could even be, you're going to start seeing some answers or some changes by the full moon. But to me, this talks about reflection and kind of looking at things in a different point of view. And is there some place where, we've held a memory, but we are holding on to it distortedly as well? Because this moon is going to show through. It's going to, what I also heard is, shine through the cracks on what we need to pay attention to. I think that at this point in your journey, you're getting really good at this. This is either getting really good at coming to terms with the past and learning how to use the lessons you've learned moving forward to bring yourself a much more abundant life, a much more happy and committed life is what I heard as well as a much more stable. They're showing me this 5 though, and remembering that without this storm, there may not have been this fire. So this is also knowing as well that we learn from everything we go through, we grow through it. And that sometimes these storms, while they may be painful, they're not necessarily meant to hurt us. They're meant to bring growth and transformation. And the lightning, that's raw power, raw universal power that, yes, we don't want to be struck by. And yes, can do some serious damage when it strikes trees and things like that and cause fire. But it's also making way for clearing. So we're clearing the way that things have been. Things could be coming to a head right now as well as what I heard. So just knowing that the hard times here with this exploitation, if you're seeing things from your past that you've been exploited, or you're seeing something now where you're being exploited, Spirit's like, okay, now's your chance to come in and set this memory straight, to balance it out, and to find a way. What I also heard was to live with it. I hope this makes sense to you guys. Tell me about this 5 stones with the 8 of stones, please. So you have the Seven of Bows, which is clearance. Isn't that funny? So this fire, not the same, no. But here it's keeping you warm and it's serving a purpose. Here, it's huge. It could be used for signal. It could be used for many things, but it looks like it's kind of burning out of control. And we're sending information. Also, they're telling me like sage or Palo Santo. You may want to be definitely spiritually cleansing your home. But it's clearing away the old. They're also giving me grass fires. So like some farmers or whatnot will, in the springtime, set their fields on fire, controlled burning, so that when it dies, it's putting nutrients back into the soil, but it's also going to allow new growth to come up. The sun here is in the reverse, and so is the seer, but I feel like this is, you have your own inherent understanding of what the next steps are for you. And in order for you to be healed, in order for you to see the personal happiness and growth, you need to follow your own internal nudges. Don't let someone else tell you that how you feel is invalid. Don't let someone else tell you that, your goals aren't worthy of following. Because this again is coming from their distorted point of view. And there could be a lot of things that have been hidden. This could be a few things, your memory coming up and it's been hidden in the subconscious. Or people around you, someone's done you dirty, someone's exploited you, and it's finally coming up to be seen. And what Spirit's telling me is if we gulp that shit down and refuse to acknowledge it, we're just going to stay in this closed up energy. We see it, we confront it head on. Even if, again, like I said at the beginning, we're not getting the answers from someone else that we want, we're seeing them for ourselves. And we're standing true in our power. I'm going to say it again because I feel like bear medicine is very, very strong here. But this is really just being strong in your convictions and your ownership. And being a bear, standing guard for your boundaries, my friends. As well as what they said with the bears, the claws are out, but they don't need to be used, because when we embody this bear energy, we're almost unfuckwithable. No one wants to fuck with a bear. I mean, if they do, they're kind of got mental problems, right? But who's going to want to go up and say, hey, bear, want to fight? Most people aren't going to do this. But this is also standing in our feminine power, protecting our loved ones and supporting our family. But doing this knowing, kind of seeing a clearer path and what's coming before. It may even be you're seeing things before it's coming, okay? So they're telling me again, February, this is going to be important, that whatever's happening, February is the month that you may start to see it all come into fruition. So you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 major arcana here that'll have all come out. And I want to focus on this sun. You see this heart? It's glowing. Once we work through what has hurt us, and we realize that this is no longer something we need to hold on to as our truth, we're going to start seeing her heart open up much more. And for some of you as well, what I heard is you may want to kind of look on YouTube or something like that, and if you're really serious about it, look up for some heart opening your heart chakra meditations. Now, it's not, what I heard is also, it's not for the faint of heart, okay? So whatever you get through these meditations, you may want to journal it, jot it down, feel whatever needs to come through, and ask Spirit to help actively heal you, because this is our energy source, okay? So I'm going to leave you with one message from the Connect with Fire. This is the Sacred Self-Care Oracle. Sit around a fire. There's the other fire one. Oh yeah. Sit around the fire. This could be that you have, if you're journaling and whatnot as well, and you've got a lot of memories that are painful coming up, write them down, burn them. Burn them in the kitchen sink so that there's, you can put them out after. If you have a wood stove or a fireplace, burn them in that. This could be if you're able to have a fire pit outside, put all that stuff in, burn it, and intentionally ask Spirit to help burn away this and to help clear and make room for the good in our worlds. So this is what I have. I hope it resonates for you. I truly, truly wish you guys the best in this. I love you all, and I will talk to you soon. Mwah. Bye, guys.